Only appreciate today is my fourth ward ya 4 hapa Menengai, na tumekuja hapa kwa sababu ya the elderly. We call them the senior citizens. We know the kind of work they did for us during independence, taking care of us for all these years. Now, of course, the president has pronounced himself on matters with, to do with the UHC, the universal health care. Na the president amesema ya kwamba he wants to make sure that the senior citizens do not in their sunset age, they do not get a lot of medical issues and complications. So he has advised us that we come down, try and help, and he has of course requested us through the CDF funding that we can be able to assist him meet the UHC program by over and above what the government has paid for. The ones who have been left out by the government, we can take them up. And in my constituency, we have set aside 6.8 million shillings. 6.8 million shillings is around 1.2 million per ward, which help us to be able to mitigate health issues for the elderly. So, but it is one thing to pay for an NSSF, NHIF card, because we have a record of around 1,200 divided by 1.2 million divided by 6 is I think around 500, over 500, no it's not over 500. Itakuja ngapi? 1.2 million divided by the 6,000 we pay per person. So in every ward we have quite a number of people that we pay for. Some wards are more, like in Biashara, because we have so many people. But the aspect here is to take care of the health of the elderly, the senior citizen. And what we are just saying is one thing to pay for their NHIF contribution, but it's another thing for us to encourage them to keep fit, to eat healthy, and be able to avoid some diseases that you can be able to avoid if you just, for example, just walk. You know, exercising is something that is very critical. And we know the elderly, they don't have enough strength for them to be able to run and exercise. But I can tell you, I saw an old man called Japheth Johnson in America. He's 98 years and he runs every day over 10 kilometers. So if we can be able to encourage the elderly to at least walk 1,000 steps every day, 1,000 steps, we are sure that within no time, then they will try and avoid the diabetic issue, high blood pressure issues, and other ailments that are brought by just sitting and not doing exercises. So what we are trying to do is that we have started this program. We will be doing it thrice a year so that we can encourage the elderly to walk and keep fit and at the same time be healthy. So it's just to help our president in meeting or addressing the UHC mitigations and programs that he has taken. And I want to tell you is that if you look at how much the government spent on health issues, that we call them preventive. So we can be able to prevent. It's better than you allow these people to get sick and then you start. So what we are just trying to do is to do the preventive measure to help our elderly people to be able to get fit and keep healthy. And we have seen, we have been in Flamingo and we have followed almost 10 cases. They used to take these dawas, pressure, diabetic nini. After they started walking, they have reduced the taking of the medicine over and over the time. So we want to encourage wale wazee wa Keratina that they should continue training on their own by just walking. If you're going to a shop, just walk. If you're going to see a neighbor, just walk. If you're going to a market, which is around some 400 meters away, just going that market and back is almost a kilometer in itself. So we will want to continue requesting our elderly to keep fit by just walking. That will help us so much.
How has been the response since the program started?
Oh, it's tremendous. Every time I go and they are just, when are you coming back for our program of walking? And you can see, of course, the small little token that we give is just a token. But what we just want is that they should realize that walking on their own is of so much benefit to their health, so they don't have to. So the response is fantastic. They really enjoy walking, and I'm happy because one of the grandmother needed the grandchildren to push her to continue, and she refused to board a matatu, to board the ambulance, to board the vehicle that we had, and said, "I'll push to the end." And that is the encouragement that we can see. Yes, they take longer, but at least that keeps the morale for them to continue working. Asanteni.
And one question, Mheshimiwa, what about the youth? Wanasema wamesahaulika sana.
Youth wawache uongo hiyo. Tuko na mipango mingi sana. But for this year on matters of sports, unajua mimi nimekuwa kwa michezo. I encourage the young people in all aspects, all disciplines, volleyball, running, darts, badminton. This year in our program ya CDF ya sports, we are bringing in now even pool, this game ya pool. So the youth tumewa engage sana. But I want to take this opportunity to thank the reformed, confirmed boys and girls, particularly in the lower part of town, that is Flamingo, Kivumbini and Bondeni. And you can see, and I want to admit that it is true that if we can be able to bring programs for our children, no child wants to go into crime. In fact, we gave them programs to do walls. You cannot believe it. You cannot believe what the work they have done. They've done now 8 schools doing the wall. If you go down, you will see it for yourself. St. Paul's, Kaloleni, St. Teresa's, Baharini, Creta, name it. And the class that is being done by a group that I even was so feared in Central Secondary School. You cannot believe the work that they are doing. So I just want to encourage my colleagues that let's engage these young people. Let us try, and I've even told them that they should now they should come, we start companies for them so that they can be able to benefit from this AGPO thing. You know, the AGPO is a huge thing, 30%. And when I was the chair of energy, Kengen peke yake had AGPO provisions here 4 billion shillings. They could only do 1.5 billion kwa sababu the companies for the young people were few. So I'm continuing as we are talking. Now we have been able to register over 41 companies for the young people. We register. We want to thank William Samoei Ruto, having removed the registration of companies from 120, 150,000 to a parity just 10,000 shillings. You just walk into a Huduma center with your 10,000. In a week's time, you have your company. I have moved a motion in Parliament for them to be able to exempt the special group, that is women, people with disability, and the youth, to be exempted from the National Construction Authority certificates, because it is only impediment for the young people to do business. Once they get their certificate of incorporation, then they cannot proceed because they have to pay other fees. And I want to thank my colleagues parliamentarians that they have already passed that in Parliament. We are just waiting for the Committee of the Whole House, and then it goes to the President for them to be exempted in class 8, 7 and 6. For those certificates, if only they are exempted, then I can assure you, you will see a big change in involvement of empowerment for our young people. Asanteni sana.